The most desired personalities, top most beautiful women by Zodiac sign. Beauty isn't about facial symmetry. It's something you can take your eyes off even if you don't know why. Every zodiac sign has its own kind of beauty. It's not about physical standards. It's about a way of being that affects people more deeply than any image. Today, 4 signs, 4 completely different mechanisms. Subscribe if you haven't already. Here I break down what people usually just feel, but can't explain. Libra. Libra is the only sign whose beauty lies not in its features, but in the impression it leaves behind. You might not remember what her nose looks like or the color of her eyes, but you'll definitely remember that being around her felt especially good, that she looked at you as if you were the only person in the room, that she found just the right thing to say exactly when it was needed. It's not a technique, it's the nature of the sign. Libra is the sign of balance, and this balance manifests in how they create space around themselves. Nothing is superfluous. There are no sharp edges. There's a sense that everything is in its place, including you. That is precisely their beauty. It doesn't attack, it envelopes. But there's a nuance that few notice. Libras are rarely completely at ease with their own attractiveness. They feel it, but at the same time they're constantly checking how it's perceived from the outside. Is the impression right? Is it too much? Is it too little? This internal calibration never stops, and that's exactly why Libras are so good at reading others' reactions. They're constantly attuned to that signal. On the outside, it looks like natural grace. On the inside, it's constant subtle work. Libra's beauty is very hard to describe in a single word. It isn't sexy in the literal sense. It isn't cold. It isn't wild. It is elegant in the truest sense of the word. Elegance is when there is nothing superfluous and yet nothing is missing. Libras dress just as they speak, with a sense of proportion. They rarely go overboard. They rarely look excessive or insufficient. They find that point where everything simply feels right. And this is one of the rarest types of beauty, because it requires not just good looks, but a subtle inner sense of balance. The only thing that can prevent Libras from fully unleashing this power is an excessive dependence on validation. When they allow themselves to be who they are, without constant internal scrutiny, their appeal becomes almost overwhelming. The version of Libras that has stopped measuring itself against others' gazes is the most beautiful. Leo. A Leo woman walks into a room and the room fills it, not because she's loud, not because she's showy, but because she's present in a way that's different from everyone else. Leo is a sign associated with the sun, and this isn't a metaphor about personality. It's an accurate description of how their charm works. The sun doesn't try to be noticeable. It simply is, and everything around it is illuminated. A Leo woman doesn't try to make an impression. She simply appears, and the impression is already there. But behind this lies something more important than mere charisma. Leo is a sign with an extremely developed sense of self-identity. A Leo woman knows who she is. She may not always be able to put it into words, but she feels it very strongly, and it is precisely this inner certainty that people around her perceive as confidence. Confidence without apology, that is what makes Leo so magnetic. There is a paradox here that is rarely discussed. Leo craves recognition. This is not a weakness, it is part of their nature, but when this need becomes too obvious, their magnetism fades. People sense that Leo is seeking validation and take a step back. A Leo woman at her strongest is one who no longer needs anyone to confirm what she already knows about herself. In this state, she truly shines, effortlessly without showing off. Leo's beauty is regal, not in the sense of coldness or unapproachability, but in the sense of scale. Standing next to a Leo woman in her true state, a person feels this person is great, not in a measurable sense, just great, and this feeling is rare and unforgettable. Taurus. Taurus is a sign whose beauty resides in the body, not in physicality as a concept, but in the concrete, the physical, the tangible. Taurus is present in the body differently than most people. Their thoughts don't wander during a conversation. They don't drift off. They are here, now, in this moment, and you can feel it physically. When you're with a Taurus, there's a certain special density to reality. This is one of the rarest and most powerful types of attraction. Taurus beauty is sensual, but not in a vulgar sense. Sensual means living through sensation, through how they move, how they touch things, how they eat, how they look. It's something beautiful. Taurus experiences aesthetics physically, and it shows. That is precisely why Taurus so often has a distinctive voice, a distinctive fluidity of movement, a distinctive way of sitting or standing, heavy, steady, natural. They don't portray calmness, they are in it. But there is a subtle thing that Taurus sometimes misses. This very rootedness which makes Taurus so magnetic can turn into immobility. When a Taurus becomes too attached to a single image of themselves, to a certain style, a certain look, a certain way of presenting themselves, they stop evolving. And what once attracted others becomes routine. Taurus at their strongest is someone who is steadfast by nature but open to changing form. Taurus beauty is the beauty of something real, not perfect, real, and people sense this, always. Sagittarius. Sagittarius is a sign you want to listen to and watch while they speak. Sagittarius' appeal lies in their eyes and in their movement. In the eyes, because they always look beyond the present. In the movement, because Sagittarius is rarely completely still. They are always a little on the move, even when sitting. This isn't restlessness. It's an inner dynamism that shows on the outside. Sagittarius is the sign of the horizon. They constantly feel that there is something more, and they head toward it. And the people standing beside them begin to feel the same. It's contagious and very attractive. That's exactly why Sagittarians often look younger than their age. Not because they haven't lived much, but because they don't accumulate heaviness. They shed what's spent and move on, and you can see it in their face and posture. But there's a point where this strength turns into a problem. A Sagittarius is sometimes so captivated by the horizon that they stop being fully present here, and people sense it. The feeling that the person next to you is already thinking about what's next, it's not the most pleasant. It's a bit off-putting. Sagittarius at their best is someone who knows how to pause in the moment without losing their natural drive. This combination of vibrant presence plus openness to the vast is irresistibly appealing. Sagittarius beauty is adventurous. Along with it comes the desire to go somewhere, to seek something, to see more than you see now. And this is a very rare gift for signs, for completely different ways of being beautiful. Libra, through balance and subtlety. Leo, through presence without excuses. Taurus, through physical authenticity. Sagittarius, through lively movement toward the great. None of these types is better than the others. They are simply different, but each of them is genuine. And that is what never goes out of style. write your sign in the comments, and if you recognize yourself, it's no coincidence.